The whole Penn State Rhule thing drives me crazy, and I get it because it's low-hanging fruit and it's pretty lazy research. But, um, the two good things I think could happen is obviously the more Nebraska wins, the more the Coach Rhule talk gets ramped up. But here's the thing I think we undersell about Coach Rhule. Number one, it puts him in a position to say, hey, listen, I talk about $30, $40 million rosters. The money isn't about me. You don't I'm going to be fine. I love my family. As long as my family likes it here, I'm going to be good. I want my daughters and Bryant happy. They're going to be good. I want Julie to be happy. I want her to be good. You know what? I think the best thing to come out of this is hopefully we put ourselves in a position where they're not at the mercy of competing against other teams because they don't have the revenues. It's not about how much money he can make because he's always been about the players. He from Temple to Baylor to Carolina, those guys don't love on him the way that they do post him leaving without him have being. I mean, Hassan Reddick is sending text messages after he signs a big deal. There's other guys Hassan Reddick can text, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he reaches out to Coach Rhule. So I think we're missing the mark on what we're talking about with the whole Penn State deal. I actually hope what happens is monies get put in the coffers for the players, not for Coach Rhule, because I think that's where his heart is. And it's just I could be way off, but I mean
I don't think you're way off.
He's fiscally savvy.
No.
He loves his family.
Yeah.
He loves Nebraska. Sam, when he first got here, he talked about what kind of job this could be. He talked about the position he wanted to put Nebraska in. And when he recruited, he says, listen, I know I'm going for top end guys. Don't wait for us to win. Hop on board now. He's been consistent in the whole message. This is just what comes with winning, right? This is just the cost of doing business. I don't have any qualms with it. I'm just not subscribing to the Penn State talk at all.
So you're not subscribing to the even the concept that he's a candidate? He would be a candidate for that. You don't think Penn State would be interested?
Sam, I used to want to date the best looking girl in the school. She didn't want me. It doesn't matter. Who cares if Penn State wants Coach Rhule? He has to want to go there. It's wasted energy. I want to be rich. I want a lot of things. Sam, you want a lot of things.
Sure.
I'm not poo-pooing the fact that Penn State would be interested, but I will say
they're interested, I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, okay. But you also
when you say it's low-hanging fruit, it's not.
It is. Really. Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know why it is low-hanging fruit, Sam? Because when we want to bitch and moan and complain about what Coach Rhule isn't doing on the national level, we post his record against top 25 teams, and we don't do any research. We don't do whether they were favored or supposed to win. We just say, oh, he can't beat X team. He hasn't beat X team. Meanwhile, we don't even pay attention to year 4 or year 5 because he hasn't gotten there. So so hear my heart though. That's low hanging fruit. You also are running. You also you couldn't get along with a guy that won 13 games last year, that won 34 games in the 3 seasons prior to him being fired or whatever happened, and you think that's advantageous to walk into? He went to Carolina because of opportunity. We're selling him. We're selling him way short. We're selling him way short.
I'm not saying right. I'm not suggesting that move is going to happen.
It doesn't matter if Penn State wants him. I don't know why people keep saying that. That's fine.
It matters a little.
It absolutely doesn't.
Well, a little it does.
Why? Humor
because
me.
If they didn't want it, then he would for certain. That's part of the reason that you bring up the concept.
Why does it matter if they want him?
the reason that you would bring up the concept of rev share and NIL isn't because it would be vis-a-vis, say, Iowa or Minnesota, but it would be vis-a-vis Penn State. So, like, Nebraska needs to be in a place, and for what it's worth, I totally agree with you about Rhule's sentiment of desiring, because he's talked about this, not because like.
So are you saying are you saying it matters so he can better position Nebraska in the future? Sure. If you're telling me it matters that Penn State wants him because he's going to be swayed, it does. There's nothing Pat Kraft could tell him about Penn State or pick up the phone and say to him that he doesn't already know.
Correct. That's right. That's absolutely right. I think that's correct. I think that as it relates to, so what Rhule desires, and he's talked about this, and I also believe this to be true, is that Nebraska needs to be as positioned as well as possible to compete, not with Minnesota or Iowa. Not he's got to beat those teams, but from a resources standpoint, to compete with Ohio State and Oregon. Now, I'm not saying that he's like, we need to have the exact same dollar figure as Ohio State and Oregon, because I don't think you need the exact same dollar figure.
I just don't think he wants to be at the mercy of those schools. I agree there. Like, I don't know if he's like, hey man, we need 35 million in the kitty. Right. I just think he's so competitive. He doesn't want to be at the mercy of Oregon or somebody else because they're not able. But but he's
all that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to convince him that Nebraska isn't better positioned than Penn State, regardless of alma mater or not. He's too smart. He knows what it's like going home as an alum. He knows better than anyone. Like,
yes. Well, he obviously he followed a person who did that at Nebraska. So like
he has a family. Do you know how much time they have to invest in this deal?
A lot.
Yeah.
So like I would say that from my perspective, I do think Penn State is logically interested. They should be.
Sure.
He would be a good coach there. And he would probably be, although James Franklin did a fine job, there'd probably be some ways in which he would be better than Franklin in certain areas. Like he would probably do a better job in just certain areas. Now, all that said, one thing I appreciate about Rhule is he could, and this is, I think, a difference between he and Franklin, just a little, is that Rhule's real explicit about expectations. And so I don't think there would be any sort of like, I don't know, woundedness on the back end that something didn't get done. And I think sometimes Franklin could seem like he was, we didn't get that done. And I just think Rhule would be more explicit.
Dude, Sam, Penn State's a hard job. It's a hard job.
It is a hard job. It is a hard job. I agree. I agree with that. I just think that, like Franklin did well there. I think Nebraska's, if you were going to have me pick between the two as to who's better going forward, I would pick Nebraska. Some of that is, though, because of what Rhule has done to build up the infrastructure and the support structure around it. I would not have said,
go get Gruden, go get Urban Meyer, go get Fran Brown, go get any of those guys.
Jimbo.
Yeah, Gruden. Yeah, that'd be great. So my point being that, like,
chuckle, laugh.
That's fine.
I don't pull stuff out of my ass.
I agree that like Rhule's desire is to see Nebraska compete for players at the highest level. And if Penn State's interest in him, which is logical, has an effect on that, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense to me. And I think that I don't know that, I think what we may hear today is love it here and we need to continue to grow and build. I don't know for sure what we'll hear.
He's not gonna do that to the players where he becomes a distraction.
No, I don't think so.
He's just not. They're on a short week against Minnesota. They're in a good spot. Like you've heard him long enough. You'll know where he is. You'll know where he is.
Yes, I agree. I think that it's important that Nebraska continue to compete though. Like it isn't just well, you know what, he likes it here, and he's not going there, so we don't have to do anything like that. That would not be the approach. Like last week I wrote in my mailbag, like I did not think they'd lose to Northwestern. I did think they'd lose to Iowa, and I was like, you know what? If you got an opportunity to announce something or reinvest either an extension or additional funds or whatever, October 21st would be a good time to do that. And I still think that's kind of true. Like Nebraska has an opportunity here to continue to promote and invest in its program, and it is only natural that
Sam with
Penn State's job being open helps it.
Yeah, listen, with another $20 million and NIL in the NIL kitty, you officially make him Dr. Frankenstein. He'll build anything in this lab you want him to. That's what I think we need to be focused on.
I think that's right. You
can
be focused on that, whether Penn State's interested in him or not. But,
if I were Rhule, here's what I would go. I'd go to him and be like, hey, Penn State's interested because I'm great at this. And he wouldn't say that, but I would. And you go, listen, there's not much that I can buy in Lincoln, Nebraska for $15 million that I can't buy for 10. So why don't you put that money into my coffers here? And
I wish they could do that,
because there is a lot of money, or there is a lot of things I can do with a $35 million roster that I can't do with a $25 million roster.
Dude, and his staff is way good. Like,
that's the conversation I would have if I was Matt Rhule. Be like, hey, I'm not going anywhere, but let's spend the money where I need it to be spent.
I
do you think he has to say anything? I
don't know. I'm a little surly when it comes to him, just because I think I understand how he feels. But I want to go back to what you brought up a couple weeks ago. Could you believe somebody thought you were like a propaganda? I'm like, Sam's about as straight like propaganda. Like, that's not Sam.
I'm
but
not.
but it's like, you got the wrong guy. But how about this though, Sam? I want to go back to something. And it's a hill I'm gonna die on. It just is. When I talk about fiscal savvy, loving his players, loving his state, being a family guy, Nebraska fans, the Board of Regents, this is a guy you want in the position of leadership. It just is. He's exceptionally bright. He understands the landscape of college football. His players love him. I'm just saying, man, like, however he wants to do the set-asides for collectives and money, just let him get to year 4 or 5. See if he can't make this a monster. Like,
well, yeah, I think part of this is that, how do I put this? He kind of owes it to himself to stay here and really see if it can come all the way together under his vision. I'm not saying that anybody at Penn State would be nostalgic for James Franklin, but see, this is how James Franklin's success is going to be used. It's going to be, well, the minimum bar around here is winning 10.
That is that is delusional.
And so your job is really, your job is to win all the other games, but you should just do that kind of waking up. Your job is to beat Michigan and Ohio State every year and like win the other 10. And yeah. Like,
does that sound familiar,
Sam? Sam, go look at Penn State Winsipedia. I'm just saying, like, it's not what people think. And James Franklin had a lot to do with that.
Well, he had a lot to do with it. I grant you that. I think that, the bottom line is this season fell apart, and obviously the players knew it. And, losing to UCLA and Northwestern is really not acceptable given the amount of money and the amount of time and the amount of investment they put into it.
Understood.
I'm not saying that it was, I think it was probably time for Franklin to leave. If they want to fire him, it's their business how they pay for it.
He might have fired himself. Give me my buyout.
Yeah, he might have. And so at the end of the day, but that's how it's going to be used. Like, the bar is going to be, well, James Franklin, we got rid of him and he won 10. So I think Nebraska in so many ways is a better athletic department, a better town. I know State College a little bit. Nebraska is a better town. It's a better place to I don't know, raise kids. I'm not trying to be rude about State College, but it's
Sam,
a better place.
Can I just tell you something? From 2000 to 2011, these are real numbers. From 2000 to 2011, that's Joe Paterno, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all Joe Paterno, yeah.
Yeah. You know how many 10-win seasons they had? 10 or more?
3.
From 2016 to 2023 or 2024 under James Franklin. Okay? Fewer years. How
6.
many? Okay, like what are we talking about? Like what are we talking about?
I'm not gonna. It is actually an interesting conversation. I don't want to.
I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying he doesn't
coach.
have warts. What I'm saying is
he's a good coach. He beat Iowa and Maryland.
What I'm saying is our ability to be appreciative in the moment is unbelievable. I'm not saying he doesn't have warts. Believe me, I spent a fair share of time dissecting James Franklin's coaching process in game. I understand it. What I'm saying is be careful if you're Penn State.
Yeah. No question. What they want is they want Curt Cignetti, I'm sure. If I was
why would Cignetti leave? Why would he leave Bloomington for the Valley?
Can I say?
And he won't. And he would be an odd fit there. Obviously, Cignetti's kind of a different guy, and it has kept him obviously from jobs because he is a very, very good coach, and the on-field stuff is legit and real. I don't think anybody took him seriously until they beat Oregon on Saturday. And I'm just saying this, that like that guy is a very good coach. He has also benefited from the fact that I think players play the brand and not the team. And now that Indiana's beaten Oregon, I think the effort that Indiana is going to get from opponents will be equal to the effort that Iowa, who has really good coaches, gave Indiana 3 weeks ago. Because Iowa played them hard. And like that wasn't Indiana didn't go up and down the field because Iowa's Iowa, and Iowa's never going to give a crap effort. They're just not. Watching the game again, I think Oregon was surprised by Indiana being good. And now Cignetti's, they're going to have to deal with teams taking them completely seriously, and they're going to be in for some battles down the stretch.
Nobody wants to say this out loud. Maybe Dan Lanning and his staff just aren't as good in game.
They're not.
So maybe that's the thing.
His players weren't dialed in. I mean, they're not as good. Again, everybody loves Dan Lanning.
No, he wins a lot of games too, but so does Franklin. Like, we can't get inside the numbers there either. They're always favored.
Yes. So but Saban's comments about Cignetti and Lanning was like, Saban's comments were like, well, Dan Lanning's got a lot of energy, and he's like, Curt is very serious, and he's done a good, almost like patronizing him for being a good coach. And I'm like, what did Saban think of this guy when he was at Alabama to talk about him the way that he does, vis-a-vis Lanning, who, is a lot of energy and a lot of mojo, and took a head coaching job on third base, which he did. And Curt Cignetti took a job on, somewhere between home and first base, and already is at third base.
Between home and first base.
It's interesting to me what people view as
it's not very far down the old baseline.
Lanning taking off his shirt on game day with McAfee. I'm like, what are you doing? Come on. You're playing a really good team.
Yeah.
Get off the set. And anyway, I'm not trying to be hard on him. Maybe that's me being an old fuddy-duddy, against a guy like Lanning who's 39 and is having fun. But if it's me, I'm not. That seems ridiculous to me that you're partying it. I wouldn't even be anywhere near the set. But that's the way that Oregon rolls.
We can't even have podcasts
today,
here.
Right?
I mean, shoot.
It's going to be interesting in Nebraska today. Obviously, Rhule, I'm sure, he's very good with the media. We'll ask, and he'll have some thoughts. But your comment is well taken about the investment in the program and the players, right? That's very well taken. And I think
that's what it is.
Yeah, but Penn State being interested probably only helps that process. That's my point, is that, like,
Yeah,
it matters in the
then
sense that
then just say leverage, right? Like, because that's all he would do. He doesn't want the
right.
job. He wants what's
I
best for his
don't
players.
I can't
It's
get
my
inside a
opinion.
person's head when it's about coming back home.
It's my opinion. And I'm on record. It is my opinion. I'm not speaking for Coach Rhule. I'm not speaking for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
I also think sometimes when we use the word leverage, sometimes it gets a negative connotation.
It's not negative, man.
Right. I agree, but I think sometimes when people hear it, they think
you're
negative.
not. Listen, I'm going to land the plane here. You're not doing what you did against Michigan, down 2 scores. You're not doing what you did against Michigan State. You're not doing what you did on the road against Maryland. If there isn't a unique player-coach relationship and
you're right,
happening in Lincoln, if you heard nothing else I said, listen to that right there. You can't tell me that something isn't brewing with his impact on young people if you watch the last 3 weeks. And that's just minimizing it. I'm not going to get into how he fertilized the grass 2 years ago when we were eye rolling because we were still losing to Maryland, right? Like, I'm not talking about that. That's important.
No, I agree.
But that's not what I'm hanging my hat on. I'm telling you, you don't say, hey, go back out there and celebrate with your fans. You don't get on IG, getting on the plane, and not have your players be like, that's my coach versus my players eye rolling. He's not doing anything on social media that his guys aren't riding with or believe in, because you can fool everybody but those guys you spend 18 hours a day with. They know
That's true.
I'm just telling you, man.
Like, no, I agree with all of that. I do. And on top of it, they started running the darn ball on Saturday. And, like, they've got to keep doing that, because that you saw it. Like, Dylan got, he got banged up and he wasn't even sacked on a play. Like, you got to keep him healthy, and you've got to take some pressure off him so that late in the game when he has to go make a play, that defensive line has been slowed down by getting pummeled for 3 quarters with the run. And I thought Nebraska's plan was excellent on offense. They did a really good job and kudos to you for saying they were going to break a kickoff. And yeah, there's a lot of good things happening down there. Obviously the Penn State thing is a distraction, but it can be
only
if
we let it be. Only if we let it be, Sam.
It's not up to me. All right.
All right, buddy.
You guys have a good one.
Hey, by the way, Sam, did you like the hodgepodge meal? Like, what did you make of the meal?
The steaks were pretty big.
Was that as eclectic? Like, why didn't they cut those things?
I don't know. But for people listening, they were very big. They're like the size of a plate.
It was like skirt or flank or something with fajitas and
then the
chicken.
plastic utensils were not going to get it
I was
done.
just going to ask, did they leave you with the plastic utensils?
Oh, my gosh. You had to tear the steak with your hand.
Gosh.
Oh, shoot. All right, buddy.
Have a good one, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
That's Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. Go ahead.
Do you think I get fired up?
Well, sometimes.
We're missing the point. That's what we're missing the point. Because you think Coach Rhule doesn't know, like, you guys said I couldn't win a big game. I haven't done anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've only won double-digit games X amount of times in college football. You just fired a guy for that.
Yeah.
Do you think you think I'm good enough, or I'm just the flavor of the day? He's pretty self-aware.
Yeah. They fired a guy who
has a better track record than Coach Rhule. So you think he wants to take a job just because he's an alum?
More 10-win seasons in the last 3 years as many as Rhule has his entire coaching career.
Don't do him any favors because he's an alum. He doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Like, we're selling him short.